What's up, dogs? Nyctopluvo, and I'm back again with another recent games pickups. I kind of been pushing this off for a while. I got like 36 games here, so I'm gonna try to brush through some of the more popular ones, not talk about them as much, just to make things shorter. But to start things off, didn't talk about this last time, but I should have. I got these Donkey Konga bongos in box and everything, so now I got like 2 sets, so I can play 2-player without bothering Drew to bring over his set. I'm sure the title of this video will be LAN ready or something to that effect, because there was I think it was on Memorial Day, there was a sale for the Xbox 360s and like Wii's and PS3s, so I got me an Xbox 360 Slim, and so now that I have 2 of these, I can start LANing games. I'm sure you guys remember from my older videos I bought like 10 million copies of Time Shifts, and now I can do that, and I'll probably do a LAN video of that at some point. But I also got a couple other LAN games that I wanted to play, probably on the channel at some point, I imagine. But I picked up more second copies of all 3 Splinter Cell games, at least the ones that have multiplayer. I actually only meant to get a Double Agent, which I didn't find this one. This one for some reason was the only one I had trouble finding, even though before it seemed like super common. But I didn't even know Pandora's Tomorrow and Chaos Theory even had the Spies vs. Mercs mode. I knew Double Agent did, but they all do. And you know, it's a super fantastic mode. It's real fun. I kind of want to get like a couple people together to play it, because you know, Spies vs. Mercs is really fun, and like, you know, it's only like on these 3 Splinter Cell games and then Blacklist, and you know, it's online on Blacklist, which is super cool, but it's not LAN, so eventually that's gonna die off. I'm gonna be real sad about it, but I'll have these to LAN. Next up, so originally I bought 1 extra copy of Halo Wars, and I was probably gonna buy a 3rd one at some point, you know, if I got another Xbox or something. However, stumbled across this super sleek looking steelbook for Halo Wars, so now I have 3 copies, and oh boy, Halo Wars is, you know, just some real fun. I'm sure you guys know about Halo Wars. It's a real fun time. We'll probably do that some point in the future. And then I also got Black Ops, the first one, you know, mainly for like playing zombies with 4 people. And then I got Left 4 Dead 2, and this one's also mainly to play with 4 people, and then at the same time there's the Versus multiplayer, which I'm looking forward to. These next 2 games, I'm sure you guys, if you know me, you know I picked them up like, well, this one I obviously made a video about, so real briefly, Overcooked 2, you can watch my first impressions video about it. It's real fun. And then next up, I didn't do a video follow-up on this, but I did like a video like kind of like a hype video about how I was excited how this game was coming out. But it's Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's a nice steel book. It's got a couple of these little poster-looking card things on the inside that are like of each of the 3 newer Tomb Raider games. To be honest with you, the steelbook's kind of like, it's not the best steelbook I've ever seen. But the game, you know, if you played any of the newer Tomb Raiders, it's pretty much the same. So, you know, if you like those, you'll like this game. If you didn't like those, you probably won't like this game. This next game, mentioned on the channel before, like 2 or 3 recent games pickups ago. My friend Anthony, also known as Guidi, who's he's doing videos on his channel again. He kind of had like a hiatus for a while, but anyway, he gave me his Japanese GameCube, and this was the one game I was really looking forward to playing on that Japanese GameCube. And I actually I was going to buy this off of Amazon, but I actually stumbled across this in the game store, and it's Doshin the Giant. And it's just kind of like this game where you play as this giant, and you're like this god of these people, and you can either be good or bad. But I think it's better to be good, because then, like, if you help them out, they, like, build little civilizations. It's actually pretty cool. It's kind of a simple game, but it's real cool. Next up is Nintendo Land. You know, this is kind of like the Wii Sports / Wii Play of the Wii U. You know, it's real fun. My personal favorite games on here is probably like the Donkey Kong one, the Luigi's Mansion, Mario Run, and the Animal Crossing game. You know, all really good time if you get some friends together. This next game, Drew mentioned in a other recent games pickups that he always like tries to go out on a limb and pick up games that like he's never heard of, you know, just based off the title or something. You know, I kind of do that sometimes as well. This is one of those. It's called Rogue Ops on the GameCube. Never really heard of this before or seen it, and I just saw it like sitting on the shelf of the GameCube game, so I thought it looked interesting. It's kind of just like a spy game. It's like third person. It was kind of reminds me of Splinter Cell from, you know, like the original Splinter Cells, of course, because, you know, it's a GameCube game, so it's of that generation. Up next is Tomb Raider Legends, and you know, this game actually surprisingly felt like I played this like after I played the newest one, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and it feels fairly similar, just, you know, on like a GameCube controller, so I was actually quite surprised. But yeah, it was pretty fun. Next up is I think this is the last 007 game that I didn't have on the GameCube, so I think I have them all, and it's From Russia with Love. This game actually threw me off, because I just picked it up, you know, because it was a 007 game. I didn't really, like, study the back or anything, but this game is third person, so I was very interesting to, like, hop into the game and, like, realize it's not first person like the other 007 games on the GameCube. Next up, I got Dishonored. I love Dishonored. You know, I have it digitally because it was like one of the free Xbox games, like probably like a year or two ago, and it was like one of those free Xbox games that I just like played and fell in love with, and I just wanted like a copy to put on my shelf. You know, it's a super fantastic stealth game, and you know, I'm sure everybody's heard of it. Next game's kind of like the same case as that, like it's the Worms collection. I have like all these Worms games digitally. It's just Worms, Worms Ultimate Mayhem, and Worms 2 Armageddon for the 360. And I mean, you know, I love the original Worms and Ultimate Mayhem. I haven't played much of 2 Armageddon, but there was actually some really cool maps in this one, which I was actually surprised, because like for the longest time I didn't like Worms 2 Armageddon, because like it was very different from like the first Worms on the 360, and then of course Ultimate Mayhem's like a different like ballpark. It's all 3D, but yeah, it's definitely a good collection. It comes with all the DLCs, which I don't know if I had the Ultimate Mayhem DLCs, but I know I had a couple of the original Worms DLCs. It's definitely a good buy, and it was real cheap. Ooh, another game that I already own this one, not digitally of course because it's an Xbox game, but this is the Morrowind Game of the Year edition, and I already had like the original Morrowind on the Xbox, but the reason I bought this is because I was actually looking for this for a while, because Morrowind is like tough as nails. It's like it's so much harder to play than like Oblivion and Skyrim, and originally the game did not have like a difficulty like meter or anything, but this is the updated version, so this does, and it also comes with the Blood Moon and Tribunal DLCs. I know Tribunal is like kind of like a Dark Brotherhood kind of like group, DLC thing, and then I think Blood Moon has something to do with werewolves. But you know, at one point, I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not, but I kind of want to do like a Let's Play series of Morrowind, more like a Let's Fail, because like I like Morrowind, it's really fun. I have good memories of when I did play it, but ooh, I'm incredibly bad at it. It's I get beat up by rats real easily. Ooh. Next up, got Silent Hill Origins, and I didn't even know this was a game. I was like, I just saw the Silent Hill, you know, title, and you know, really I've been looking for Silent Hill like 2 and 3, because I know those are very good, and I ran across this and I was like, oh, I didn't know this was a game, but yeah, I've been loving this game. I kind of stopped playing it for a while, and I need to get back and beat it, but it's really, really fun. Ooh. This game I kind of just picked up because I love the movie so much, and it's a movie tie-in game. It's Coraline. I didn't get super far into the game. It's kind of like your standard movie title game, just a lot of like little stuff kind of that you do. That was a bad explanation. You know how like some movie games make you do like real stupid stuff. Like I feel like once you get into like the other mother world or whatever it's called, this game's gonna be really cool. Next up, I got WarioWare Gold, and I actually I have like kind of a sad, not really so much story about this, because Drew bought this in the last recent games pickup, and I believe he bought it from GameStop, and I bought this one from GameStop as well, and I assume we probably went, you know, to the same GameStop, but when I bought this, the guy at the counter was saying, oh, I love WarioWare, it's so much fun, it's a shame that they only sent us 2 copies to the store. I was like, what, really? They only sent you 2? And then like I was thinking, I was like, well, if Drew bought a copy, if he bought it from that GameStop, that means me and Drew bought both the copies that they sold at that GameStop, which is really sad to know that they only ordered like 2 copies of WarioWare. But this game is really fucking fun. Like, it's got like a bunch of the older WarioWare minigames, but like, it always surprises me going back to the 3DS how good it looks, but like, they updated like the graphics, you know, of course, and it just looks really cool, and it's super fun to play. Next up, keep it real brief with this, because probably do a bunch more videos on this, but it's the Luigi's Mansion port to the 3DS, and having a good time with this. Same deal with Wario, where I was actually surprised with how good this game looks for being a 3DS game. Ooh, it's another game I went out on a limb on. It's called Crossy Crisis. It's a PS1 game, and it's kind of just like there's this chicken running around, you have to make paths for him, and then after a certain point, like a whole thing opens up and you have to guide him in there. You know, it's a real simple puzzle game, but it's real fun. Oh! So this game, I didn't mention it earlier, but like when I bought Shadow of the Tomb, I wanted to mention this earlier, but when I bought like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I pre-ordered it and everything, and just wanted to say how I hate how GameStop is nowadays, because like I pre-ordered the game, picked it up, and then they're like, oh, do you want to pre-order more games, or do you want to protect your disc? And I was like, no, I just want to pick up my game and leave. And like the thing that, like, about protecting your disc is like, I've never really broken any of my discs ever, so I don't really need like disc insurance on them or anything. But this game right here is one of the only games I owned in the past that I actually did break the disc for, and it's Mega Man 8. And I remember this game being very hard as a kid, going back to it as an adult, still pretty hard. I remember this one level specifically, and it was like this, I think his name is Clown Man, and it's like a circus level, and then you fight a clown robot boy at the end. And I was like, yeah, I was a kid, this level is probably just easy, I just sucked as a kid. No, it's still pretty hard as an adult. I look forward to like trying to beat this game, because like, there are a lot of games I played as a kid, and then like I didn't, you know, beat them, of course, because I was a sucky kid. But I'm interested to go back and beat them, and this would be one of those games. Oh, this next game is another game I just bought based off the cover, and it looked interesting. It's another GameCube game, and it's called Army Men RTS. And it's very, you know, it's an RTS. It's, you know, similar to Halo Wars if you're familiar with that. But it's got like the little green plastic Army Men figures. And it was actually really cool. Like the concept is so basically you play as the Army Men, then you have like bulldozers and dumpsters and stuff, and like I think it's like the dumpsters go collect like crap to build up your resources, and then the dumpsters can build stuff like, you know, barracks and whatnot. And yeah, it was a pretty fun game, and I kind of thought it was funny. I played the tutorial for it, so because I really wanted to, like, you know all the controls and everything before I started. And the tutorial got real meta. They were saying like, oh, you could split up your troops and, you know, be very strategic, or you could just be like everybody else and attack in one giant massive unit. So yeah, I didn't expect to find this game. Like, I've been trying real hard to find Silent Hill 2. And I went in this one game store I don't normally go in hopes that they might have it. But I found this game, which I've been looking for a while, and I actually did buy this game before, but it ended up being a broken disc, so I had to return it. But it's Wario World, which for some reason is really, really rare on the GameCube, and it's kind of shitty because like the insert is not like a real one, but like from a distance it still looks like, you know, the original insert. And yeah, you know, it's real fun. It's kind of like a beat 'em up platformer. It's very interesting. Yeah. Next up, I was actually surprised with how cheap these games are, with how much, you know, like critically acclaimed they are, and how everybody seems to love them. And it's Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3. Bought these for like $3, and I was actually surprised how cheap they were. And I also noticed that there's like a butt ton of like different cover arts. Like the Metal Gear Solid 2 one, there's a Metal Gear Solid 3 one in the same art style, and then vice versa with 3. There was a Metal Gear Solid 2 that had a art style similar to this. Yeah, you know, I haven't played through the first one completely yet, but I look forward to beating that and then moving on to these, because I know I just know I love these games, because I really like Splinter Cell, and from what I can tell, this is like Splinter Cell, except for it's like more ridiculous, you know, and silly. And yeah, sounds pretty enjoyable to me. Ooh, yeah, next up, this I already own this game. It's Resident Evil 0, but I had what's it called? The Nintendo Select or whatever the fuck, Player's Choice. And this one's not a Player's Choice, and it was pretty cheap, so bought this, and I'm probably gonna go sell my original Resident Evil 0, the Player's Choice one. But yeah, you know, it's Resident Evil 0. It's pretty similar. From what I know, it's pretty similar to the first game, like gameplay wise. And I look forward to beating it. So this game's not really like, earlier I said I bought like all the 007 games on the GameCube. I think I have like all of them now. And technically I don't think this is a 007 game, but I mean it's 007 universe. It's GoldenEye Rogue Agent, and it's pretty much like you play as like Bond villains, and yeah, it's really cool. So these next two games are a little bit rarer games. Not, well, I don't know if I want to say rare, but I don't stumble upon them too often, and both the cases for them are real clean, sleek, and I love it. So this first one is Katamari Damacy, and I've always had my eyes on this game because it looks very like weird and I love weird. And you know, you pretty much just like build these junk balls, and eventually they turn into stars. It's a very weird game. Controls are kind of weird too on it, but it's very fun to play. I don't know how long this game is, but definitely gonna play through this at some point. This next game, also very sleek cover. Would have preferred the GameCube copy, but found a PS2 one, and it's Alien Hominid, and this is from the same people that made Castle Crashers and Battle Blocks, and this was their first game actually. They made this as a Flash game, and then I think either Nintendo did it first or Sony, or I don't know what happened exactly, but they offered them to make a more professional version of that game to put on consoles, and this is it. And I have like a 360 version of this, and I noticed there was some slight differences in like the opening from this version to the 360 version, but it's a really fun game. It's kind of on the harder side because it's like you literally get shot by a bullet and then you die, and I think you get like about 5 lives, but it's very fun to play. I love the Behemoth. They make real great games. Next up, it's Fatal Frame, and Fatal Frame 2. And I don't know much about the Fatal Frame games. I know a lot of people like them, they're kind of a cult classic. And so basically, I don't know like the exact stories of both games, but I know it's like you take pictures of ghosts, and from what little I played, I really like the environment. And if I have time, I'm trying to play through like a lot of spooky games for like October, you know, get real spooky with it, and I kind of want to beat through this, and then maybe get to 2, but I doubt I'll get to 2 before October's over, but could always carry it on into November. And the last game here is I found a really nice box set for this, and this is the Hitman trilogy. It's a very clean looking box set, and it's got the 3 of the PS2 Hitman games. I think this is all the Hitman games on the PS2. It's Silent Assassins, Contract, and Blood Money. Yeah, the Hitman games are really cool, and you know, I saw this and had to, you know, press F to pay respects. So sorry for that stupid joke, guys. And you know, just a couple more things before I finish up. I also got me another 3DS, because my other one, like, I think I spilled Sprite on it or something. The joystick was real broken, but it's a nice 3DS. It's the NES controller one. My only gripe is it's not like the new 3DS, so it doesn't have like the joystick, and the Luigi's Mansion port, like, I think it utilizes the C-stick, but like if you don't have it, you have to use motion controls to look around, which is kind of makes the game a little bit harder. But yeah, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching. Hopefully this video is short enough and not really fucking long. I think I covered everything. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Hey guys, before we end this video, I just want to tell you a little story. So, for those of you who don't know, I've been looking for Silent Hill 2 for a really long time, and recently I saw a Facebook sale that was a sale for 2 and 3, so you know, it was a deal, and it wasn't super expensive. Fortunately though, somebody already contacted them that they were interested, and they ended up buying, so when we could have a moment of silence for Silent Hill 2.